Hey everybody, this is Tom Williams with The Lost Miner. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how you can create a glamping site or launch an Airbnb and break the rules and be extremely successful. Okay, before I get into how you can break the rules and be successful with your glamping site or Airbnb, I thought about talking about this topic after receiving one of the Isaac French's recent newsletters. So basically, and if you guys aren't following Isaac French and you're into glamping, Airbnb, experiential hospitality, make sure you follow him on social media. He does a lot on Instagram and YouTube. And he's on some other platforms like X as well. But anyway, excellent source for information. And as you can see in this newsletter, he talks about breaking the rules. And he gives some examples of places that are extremely successful and they break the rules. So if you're asking what are the rules, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that have good expertise in Airbnbs and glamping. And basically what they teach is that you have to be within a reasonable distance from a major city, for making sure that it's accessible. People can get there, with whether it's flying in or whatever. You've got a good population, for example, that could go out to your glamping site or your Airbnb. It's also near some major attraction like a national park, for example. And then a third thing is that it's reasonably close to places to get food, dining, getting gas stations, things like that. Some conveniences. And I really wish that I would have seen something like this whenever I first got started. So if you've been following me, likely you haven't been, because I probably have a couple people that actually watch my videos. But I've built 2 glamping sites. I'm on my second glamping site right now. I finished a dome and I'm about to get started on an A-frame. Anyway, my first glamping site broke the rules, okay? And I'm not saying that you can break all of the rules, the 3 that I just mentioned, but you can get away with breaking at least one of them, but the way you're able to do that is you have to create something amazing that draws people. Something that's really interesting. So my first glamp site and my second one as well, they're both near Big Bend National Park in West Texas. The first one I bought years ago, I bought the property sight unseen. I talked to the realtor, talked through what I was looking for. Everything seemed to match up. There was some photography I was able to look at. It just wasn't very good. It was really hard to get a good visual in my head of what it was going to look like. But at the time, properties were going, it was during the pandemic and properties were going really quick. So I went ahead and moved on it. And when I went out there, so when I finally got to my property, whenever I turned off of the pavement, it took 45 minutes going through roads that were anything but all weather. I mean, it was ranch roads. It was rough to get out there. 45 minutes, basically on a trail, right? It wasn't an all weather road, and then turned into driving through creek beds and switchbacks, some pretty rough stuff. So I started getting really nervous as I was making my way to the property when I went out there the first time. And it was relatively close to Big Bend National Park. So from the paved road, it was probably 15 minutes to get there. But then you had to go through these basically ranch roads for 45 minutes to get out to where my property was. So fortunately, my property was beautiful. So when I got out there, it was on top of a hill. I'll post a picture here so you guys can see a drone photo. But I first got there and I was kind of at the base of the hill that made up most of the property, parked. And when I walked to the top, I had this amazing view. It was unbelievable the view. And I built a really cool dome on it. it was really hard to do. I built it all myself, had the help of my family as well. My son spent a lot of time out there helping, my wife as well. And anyway, when it was done, it was, man, it was awesome. It was amazing, amazing view, really interesting place, and it did extremely well. Okay, it did really well. The problem was it was so remote; it was very difficult to build on. So I ended up selling it, and I just couldn't. It wasn't something I could scale. So I took the revenue for that, and then we invested in a new property that we're built on. But I was so scared whenever we launched because I knew I was not following all of the rules. So those golden rules those three golden rules that experts will talk about. I didn't follow them all, and I ended up doing extremely well. I was blown away. And there's a lot of people out there. The people that go out, for example, to Big Bend National Park, it's the type of people that are into like overlanding, stuff like that. They've got Jeeps, big four-wheel drive vehicles, and for a lot of people, it was like, wow, this is a huge adventure. I was extremely transparent in my listing about what they were getting, what you were signing up to if you booked, and it was almost like that just got people more excited. So when I saw this, I was like, wow, okay, this really explains things. I'm going to show you guys some examples that don't follow these rules. They do extremely well. So in this new letter, he talks about Ovo Patagonia, that this Ironworkers camp in Maine, and what is it? Outpost X as well. That's in Utah. So this property in Ovo Patagonia, it's basically, a lot of people travel to Patagonia to do, people that are really big into the outdoors, go hiking and things like that. But imagine to get to this place, you have to get to the ranch that it's located on, and then you have to hike. I believe it's 2 kilometers, and then you basically have to. It's almost like, I guess it's like mountain climbing. I mean, you actually have to, hook up a rope, and you're walking along a cliff until you get to your pod that's hanging like something like 900 feet above the ground. It's crazy. And they're able to stay like 85% booked, and I think it's 4 pods. They make like $1 million in revenue a year. That's insane. So let me show you real quick on YouTube, and you'll get a better idea. So you can see how he's kind of hooked up right here. These are the pods.
Craziest places we have ever slept, and it's right here.
Welcome to Ovo Patagonia, the newest and most scenic hotel of its kind. Suspended 900 feet above the Patagonian landscape, this incredible stay offers one of the most breathtaking views in the world. And tonight, we're spending the night here, floating high above the wilderness.
So we are in Sheldon, Patagonia.
Okay, I'm not going to spend too much on it. I just wanted to kind of show you guys a peek. I recommend going to this channel right here if you want to see a good overview of it. It's the Conscious Dreamers YouTube channel. They've got basically they go and they give a tour of it. It's really good. It's amazing. The views are incredible. Okay, so basically they charge over $1,000 a night, and they're still able, being so remote, they're able to provide food and all these other luxuries, and so. They're able to make it happen, and I guess just charge accordingly, and people are willing to pay it because it's such an amazing experience. Okay, I'm going to go to Outpost X real quick. Best way is just to show you guys on their, this is Isaac French's page. Hold on. Okay, let me go to Outpost X real quick. Okay, Outpost X. This is in the middle of nowhere in Utah. So there's some famous parks in Utah, but this place, and some like Las Vegas, big city, popular destination. But this place is like hours from these places. They bought like, I think it's 250 acres in the middle of the desert, and they built the Star Wars film, the Star Wars themed glamping site, I guess you would call it. And it's really cool what they did. So let me click on some of these videos. So you can see they've got these desert cruisers like the Star Wars movie. They've got some really unique looking places, structures that they built. They've got like caves. This crazy A-frame like looking thing. Let me go through a couple more of these. Alright, you can see some of that stuff. Just crazy.
You didn't stumble on this place. You were drawn here. Just 1.5
Alright,
hours west of
this is a good one.
Zion, hidden in 240 acres of raw desert.
Okay, this is something like 1 hour, I think you said, outside of Zion.
With its panoramic windows, is for solo seekers and couples craving stillness. The caves, carved into the earth, are built for friends and families to disconnect together. Cruise the playa in a sand cruiser. Sink into the X-Spa. Hot tubs, cold plunges, and a wood-fired sauna under the sky. This isn't just a stay, it's a return to something real. Welcome to Outpost X. You didn't stumble on this place.
Okay.
You were drawn here. Just one point.
Check them out. They've got a lot of really cool content. So I think you guys are catching on. Build something cool and people will come. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple more.
This old abandoned
All right, here's the
Ironworker's
Ironworker's
camp in Rural
camp.
Maine into a stunning sold-out micro-resort. He did it with just $50,000 down. I love this story. By day, Eddie is in sales, but in his spare time, he hunts for real estate
So
deals.
it's
And
kind of
this
close to
December, he
Acadia
stumbled
National
upon
Park.
this listing. 10 shabby cabins on 2 wooded lakefront acres, just 45 minutes from Acadia National Park. Place was a wreck, and he got it for a great deal. Over the next few months, he restored every cabin with a rustic, minimal touch, installed a $150,000 septic system, and added landscaping, trails, and parking. Since opening in July, he's been 95% occupied. He just shut it down for the winter, but running just 7 months out of the year, he's able to gross $420,000 and net $195,000. He bought the property for $750,000, but again, he only had to put $50,000 down thanks to a seller note and a commercial credit line from his local bank, which is also funding the renovation. The very best part, in my opinion, with cabins just feet from the water, this place would be impossible to build today due to shoreline restrictions. How many other abandoned camps, farm silos, rotting train cars are out there just waiting to be discovered, loved, and brought back to life? Tens of thousands, I bet. And you don't need to be a millionaire to do this. You just need a dream and some good old-fashioned hard work. My 29-year-old friend Eddie just turned this old abandoned Ironworkers camp in rural Maine into a stunning sold-out micro-resort. He did it with just $50,000 down. I love this story. By day, Eddie is in sales, but in his spare...
All right, I'm going to show you guys one more that he just posted. So $32,000 a night. Unbelievable, right? But check this out.
This hotel sells out for $32,000 a night, and some nights are twice that much. It's called Sheldon Chalet. Perched in the shadow of Mount Denali, this place is only accessible via a 45-minute helicopter ride.
It couldn't be more
frozen wilderness. The
hard to get
backstory?
to,
Well,
right?
in the
You have to get there on a
1950s,
helicopter.
pilot Don Sheldon claimed this 5-acre outcrop under the Homestead Act. Now surrounded by Denali National Park, the land stayed in his family.
Near Denali
In
National
2015,
Park.
His kids began building this 5-bedroom.
So I was talking about with my first
construction
property,
project
how hard it was to get out there to build.
But in 2018, it was finally ready.
Now I'm like, wait, maybe it wasn't so hard. Looking at what these guys went through.
And gourmet meals crafted by world-class chefs are all included. It's down-to-earth luxury, and at 85% occupancy, this one unit generates around $10 million.
$10 million off one unit. One unit, $10 million.
Design, craft, and hospitality stories like this. This hotel sells out for $32,000 a night, and some nights.
All right, guys, that is insane. So, I don't know. I even thinking about that now of my first property. I could have built it out. It was off grid, just like the one now. I didn't have any luxuries really. But if I did made it way upgraded on things, I wonder if I couldn't have had like a helicopter that just brought people out, to and from a location close to the park. I don't know. I hope that opens your eyes and doesn't kind of, I guess, opens your mind to the possibilities. There's so many possibilities out there, and I guess my point of making this video is you don't have to follow all of the rules. And I think the kind of the rules for where you should build a glamping site, if that's what you're wanting to do, or buy a property to just have an Airbnb. I think that the rules are good, but if you want to truly create a unique experience, you can absolutely break the rules, but you have to do really cool stuff to attract people if you're not going to follow the rules. And I think that's what people want is experiences, right? So that's it. I'll leave it there. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Like, subscribe, follow. I'm really looking forward to starting my build. We're still in peak season out there at my property. So we're going out there basically full time in May to start building our A-frame. Hopefully you guys will join us on that journey, and I look forward to I'll be learning as I build it. My first two builds were domes, but I'm hoping to help you guys, show you guys the mistakes I'm going to make, because I'm sure I'm going to make a lot. And you guys can learn along with me. And if it's your dream to build something yourself as well and make some money, like off of a glamping site, there's a lot of money out there, and you can definitely follow your passion and make it happen. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.